Right, welcome ladies and gents. Sorry for all of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard coverage, but we will still be doing normal videos as well. Well, obviously that's a really important case, and I do need to cover it, but I just want to say, hey look, thanks for persevering, right, I do appreciate it. But this video is all about what's happening at the CW. Now, you read from the title, there was actually strong suspecting that there's basically strong evidence that Batwoman is going to be cancelled. In fact, a lot of the DC shows are looking like they're going to be cancelled. They are not going to be renewed. And this is an article from Deadline. Now, if you don't know, just as a quick, brief bit of background on the CW and why a lot of their stuff is on the chopping block. CW is up for sale at the moment. Right, AT&T, they don't want any part of it. They don't want their shares, and obviously they owned, Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers has, an ownership stake in the CW. They don't want it. That's how the CW has had the DC shows, but they don't want it anymore. They're not interested in it. It's a dead weight. They're bleeding cash. I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot, for the life of me, understand why they keep making these shows. It's an absolute money laundering scheme. It must be. So this is interesting. It's very, very, very interesting. Now, obviously, because they're up for sale, a lot of their shows are coming to a close, naturally, because of the seasons. Or, not only that, you would have mid-season renewals. So, current season. Does it get renewed for the next season? Yes. No. But we've not heard any of this stuff for some time. Which has obviously led a lot of people to think, well, it's because they're just up for sale, or it's because they're garbage and they're finally learning. But this Deadline article does shed some light on it. So we'll dive into this today. Just real quick, ladies and gents, please do follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. I'm giving, obviously, Twitter updates on what I'm up to with videos and things like that. So if you're looking for something in specific or you want to suggest something, Twitter's really good. You can find it linked in the description box along with my Instagram. As well, I just want to take this moment to say, hey, I do have a second channel, and I'd love you guys to head on over there. It's in the description box. You might really like it. For those that have been missing Jasper, he's on there a reasonable amount. It's vlogs and cars and stuff. But check it out, you might like it. So let's dive into this, right? For the first time in years, the CW finds itself with about half of its series on the bubble. That's really important. This doesn't really happen. The network is constantly renewing shows. Like, they will announce shows getting seasons before the initial pilot episode has even been released and the feedback has come in. They're just ridiculous. They're notorious for it. But the network recently renewed its strongest performance, right? So that's All American, The Flash, which makes sense because obviously gave Grant Gustin quite a big payday. Kung Fu, Nancy Drew, Riverdale, Superman and Lois, and Walker. Superman and Lois, of all the DC products that CW is putting out, is actually good. I review that weekly when it's on weekly. CW's ridiculous for doing massive hiatuses, but Superman and Lois is a really good show. Give it a shot. You might like it. Now, Deadline says that's about half the number of the series the network renewed in January, February, the past 2 years. Half the number. So that goes to show what state CW is in at the moment. Massively, massively, massively bad. Their future is very, very rocky. Now, the pending ownership change clearly is a factor in the CW's renewal strategy this year. Bearing in mind, it doesn't look like anyone's interested in it. Now, we've not heard anyone's interested in this yet. So there's a massive renewal of virtually the entire slate we've seen in years past works for the two studios that supply the CW. Warner Brothers TV and CBS Studios. So it's co-owned. And obviously they're parent companies that co-own the networks. The CW's new majority owner is expected to have a say in the remaining renewals, with Warner Brothers recently getting acquired, additionally complicating decisions. Zaslav is on it with DC properties. He is seriously on it. He thinks that they are their future money maker because they've got the IP, they can make great products from them, and it doesn't cost them anything outside of normal productions. Whereas if you're, if you've got to acquire an IP that's widely recognized, it's going to cost you a significant amount of money. Like Legendary pays Toho a lot of money to use Godzilla. So Zaslav, the guy in charge of Discovery, he's really on it with this, and goddamn, CW is definitely going to be on the chopping block. So even if the CW is not bought by the upfronts, the network is not expected to renew shows en masse, making for some tough calls. They're not tough calls. It's fascinating that Deadline is running cope for this. It's not tough calls. The network is dead. Nothing is a tough call on that network. You could scrap it all and it wouldn't be missed. Obviously by some, but very few. Believed to be the most vulnerable are low-rated series like Freshman, the 4400, as well as Dynasty, whose previous renewals had been motivated by the money the series generates for CBS Studios through the show's Netflix deal. So that's the only reason CBS was renewing it, because of course they make money off that. However, Charmed and Legacy's odds probably are a little bit better, with Legacy's ties to one of the CW signature series, The Vampire Diaries, giving it a slight edge. But what about this? The 3 remaining DC series, Legends of Tomorrow, Batwoman, and Naomi. Batwoman and Naomi, I've never watched Legends of Tomorrow. Batwoman's garbage, Naomi's garbage. Which will be in consideration alongside DC pilot Gotham Knights. They are looking to cancel even something that's not aired. Finally, they're learning. Word is that about half of the 4 projects will make it to the next season. But this is it. Batwoman and Gotham Knights are set in a similar universe. So it is possible that one of them is picked up for next season. And it will be a difficult decision on Legends of Tomorrow, which is getting old, currently in its 7th season. Having gone through a string of cast changeovers, the CW president Mark Pedowitz is known for giving the network's long-running series a proper goodbye, so final season would be a logical solution, but given the uncertainty over the CW's ownership, the final decisions might not be the network's to make. So finally, Batwoman might actually be cancelled. It's looking more and more likely, which goes to make sense why the Batwoman Writers' Room have been trying to start a campaign over on Twitter saying hashtag, renew Batwoman and things like that. So it's interesting to see how this, moves forward. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. CW, finally getting some news on this. Doesn't seem anyone wants to buy it, which is, it makes sense, to be honest. Who'd want to buy this piece of crap? I wouldn't buy that for $1, mate, honestly. So let me know what you think down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe, give the video a like, and do share it. Thanks so much. Take care.